welcome to my channel, and my name is Saiga and I'm a software engineer, and today what I want to do is kind of like a coding tutorial style video. So what I have in front of me here on the screen is basically the documentation for the SpaceX API, and I thought to make, a tiny tutorial just trying to introduce you guys to React and how to use APIs, and also something kind of aerospace related because, well, we all love a bit of rockets and planes and stuff like that. So yeah, that's in essence what I have here. And what we're going to do is use this API to create a React app that basically will show us the upcoming SpaceX launches. Kind of like how you would see, I guess, trains in the UK, like how you would see trains on an app of like which is the next train and so on. So that's the sort of vibe I'm going for with this project. I'm not going to really edit it in multiple clips, so it's just going to be a long clip, I suppose. I don't know how long it'll take me to do this, but you know what? We can always try, see how far we go. So I guess let's just get started with this. So I already have made a GitHub repository, so that's what I've opened in here on VS Code. I've made the font slightly larger so you can see, but so yeah, let's get started. So first of all, what I'm going to do is just create a folder called client. I'm going to cd into client. It's not how you spell it. There we go. And then let's do npx create React. And I actually have forgotten the command. What is the command to create React? Create React app. So here we go. So it is this npx create React. So like I said, I don't even know what the hell I'm doing half the time. So there we go. Just need to do that. I'm not going to put a name on it. I'm just going to put a dot because I want it to be made within my client folder. So away we go. So there we go. Now it is doing its thing. So basically creating a React app. So yeah, as you can see it, but whilst it's doing that, let's have a look at the API response that we get. So in essence, this is the API we want to call, api.spacexdata.com/latest/launches. And in essence, it'll return this massive JSON object. And if I, like I've just done before, kind of feel like I'm in Blue Peter or something, this is the response we'll get back. So basically get back all these different JSON objects. And within each of these is basically like, well, in essence, you get back an array of JSON objects. So if I click 184 over here, so this shows you what the SpaceX launch is. So basically here it's saying it's upcoming, so that's true. So we can use this when we want to differentiate between the launches that have already happened and the launches that are, yet to be launched, I suppose. So we have the launch number. We have some other details like crew, which doesn't seem like it's true for this one. Ships doesn't look like it's true for this one. Capsules and payloads. So payloads here gives you like a payload ID, but we can't really use it for anything. So I think the main thing that we can use is basically whether it's upcoming or not. The name as well. We can use the name to say what launch it is, and also the date and time of the launch. So that is some information that we can use to showcase on the React app. But let's have a look if this thing has loaded. It is not loaded yet, so yeah, just give it some time. It'll take a while. Let's expand this client. So yeah, as you can see, some of the node modules have been uploaded and have been created. We have a package JSON. So if you are unfamiliar with Node.js, in essence, node modules are, I guess you would call them like libraries or packages that you can install if you type the command npm, so November Papa Mike, into the terminal and then type some sort of package name, it'll install that. And well, React has a various number of those packages that it needs to install to make React work. So yeah, we're nearly there anyway, so we shall see our React app very soon. So yeah, as you can see here, there's more stuff being created like source and public and so on. So now we have our React app. We can just hit npm start, and it should load us the default React app. There we go. So this is what you should see whenever you basically start a React app. They'll give you some default piece of code, but we can just go ahead and delete that for now. So let's go into our source. First of all, let's go into app here, and we can delete all of this gubbins. There we go. And then we can also delete some of the stuff we've not used, like this. And if we go into our, actually that is fine. So if we check back here, yeah, so now it'll be all empty because we have nothing there. Go back here. Now let's go into our source, create a folder called components, and then in here we can name a new folder called atoms. This is just like the convention. So you have atoms, you have molecules. Do you have molecules? Yes, you have molecules. So those are two of the main ones, and we'll probably have one. Actually, do we need multiple pages? We probably don't for this because it's going to be a super simple app. So let's have a look at what we need now. So if we go into our molecules one, then we can create basically, actually, instead of going to molecules, let me just show you how you use React. So in essence, this is the main app. So anything you put in here will be rendered pretty much. So if we have a h1 tag, so if you've done HTML and stuff before, this might look quite similar. So if you put hello, hit enter and save that, and then we go back to our web page, look at that, it says hello, pretty sweet. So in essence, that's kind of like how you get stuff to be rendered in React. You have to put it between this sort of return tag, and then you export the app. So let's see what we can do. First, we probably need to try and get a way to actually take the data in. So we can do this on app. This is not the conventional way to do things, and I wouldn't recommend doing this if the app is supposed to grow. But since we basically are making like a super small app, let's basically get the data into this component called app, which is basically the whole app. So what we want to do is make an API request to that endpoint. So let's do this. So if we go into here, and what we want to do first of all is we want to say const SpaceX, yes, SpaceX data. So in essence, this is what you would call a use state. And a use state, in essence, is basically something that allows you to have a variable such that if you're using that variable anywhere in your code, every time the data within that variable changes, the component re-renders. It's kind of weird to explain if you don't really understand how React works, but basically, yeah, you'll see it as we go along. Probably the easiest way is easiest way to explain it is if you have a h1 tag and you want to put a variable inside of that, and every time someone clicks a button you want it to re-render. So instead of writing like a crazy function to be like when button click re-render this, all you have to do is say when the button is clicked, change this variable to the next number above, so increment it, and as long as that variable is defined using this use state, then the component that uses that variable to show the number, that will re-render with the new number. So every time we click the button, the number will just keep going up. But in this case, what we want to use is SpaceX data. So let's basically try and use this. So what we want to do now is we want to basically write a function. So let's do const get SpaceX data, and then basically hit enter with this. So this is basically getting the SpaceX data, but we want to change this to this, where's it gone? This endpoint over here. So we want to get rid of that and put this here instead. We want to keep this. So there we go. So then once this has been called, you should set SpaceX data will be populated with the data that has come back. So basically this line 11 is the one that gets the actual data from the API. This line here processes the data because it comes back as JSON. So basically it produces a JSON object, and then you pass data into set SpaceX data because that will then save the data into this variable called SpaceX data. So what we want to do now is basically, if we just do something basic like p here and then put SpaceX data here, let's see what happens. So if I just add a use effect, so this is another thing. Use effect basically runs, so whenever whatever you put in here changes. So say for example, if you have like a variable called count, and every time count changes, it will run this use effect. But if you have nothing in here, then the use effect function will only run when the page is loaded. So it'll only run once. So let's try this. So now we basically have this function to get the SpaceX data. This is the variable to store the SpaceX data and also set the SpaceX data. And this use effect will in essence trigger this function to get the data. And here what I've done here is basically put the SpaceX data within two p tags. So hopefully it'll just come out with some disgusting looking JSON on the React app. And if we go here, it doesn't. But let's figure out why. So let's have a look at our console. So what is this? So SpaceX data, so this apparently does not work. But why does it not work? Let's see. So if I copy this, let's go back into our React app. It's because this thing is a bit weird. My URL, as you can see, it says launches, but that's not what we want. So let's paste this. We want launches. And now, if we go here, okay, it still doesn't work. Objects are not valid as, yeah. So what I need to do here is I need to do JSON dot stringify, and then put this here. And now if I go back here, there we go. See that? We have all our SpaceX launch data. So yeah, this looks funky because, well, I'm just literally putting in raw JSON into the website. So obviously it is not what we want. Yeah, we can ignore this. So, but this is a good thing. It means we are getting the correct SpaceX data, which is great. Okay, so let's make this look a bit more prettier. I'm not going to focus too much on aesthetics, but you know, it's always nice to make the website look nice. Okay, so let's do this. So SpaceX launch programs, or maybe we can change this to upcoming launches. Upcoming SpaceX launches. Nice. So now we have that there. What we need to do is we want to have some sort of component here, which is basically list of SpaceX launches, right? And basically we want this sort of component here, and you may have seen this up here, and that basically is what you would call a prop. And in React, basically a prop is like a variable that you would pass in to a function. So for example, if you're familiar with functions like this one here, you might want to add a parameter that goes into that function. So similarly with React components, you might want to add a parameter which will then determine what sort of information is displayed within that React component, or maybe the style of the component changes or whatever really. But in essence, it's like you're passing a parameter into a function. But we need to create this component called list of SpaceX launches. So let's go into molecules and create a new file called list of SpaceX launches.js. Great, so now we're in here. Let's basically, we want to copy some of this functionality. So if we Control A, we remove this, and then we can change this. I'm going to rewrite how you write functions because I like it written as an arrow function. So const list our SpaceX launches. There we go. Then we have return. Nice. So we can just put like some empty tags for now. But this is great. So now we have list of SpaceX launches. And what we want to make sure we also do is make sure we export the component as well. Because if you don't export it, you're not going to have the component to use. So let's go back into here and import this component. So there we go. It is auto completed that for us. So list of SpaceX launches. Now we can, as you can see, there's no squiggly line under here, because if this wasn't there, see, it's like, oh no, it's not defined, but now we have this back here. It shows up, which is great. The blue lines here basically means the spelling is a bit weird. So because SpaceX is not a word, it's like saying, what is going on? But yeah, we could just ignore it for now. Okay, so what we have here is our list of SpaceX launches, but let's have a look. Do we get a list? No, we don't, because there is nothing in the list component here. See, we just have an empty tag. So if we add something like a p tag saying hello, now we should see it here. Hello. Great. So that is exactly what we want. But now let's think about this. So we want to have basically different cards like listed out with the different launches. So how can we, in essence, do that? Well, the best way to go about doing it is to basically make a launch card, and then we just pass in like launch data equals, well, data. So there we go. And in essence, this is our launch card, which is great. So what we want to do now is we want to create a component called launch card as well. But because we're going to have multiple cards, what we want to actually do is we want to try and map the array here, SpaceX data, because as I showed you before, the data comes back as a massive array of JSON objects. So what we want to do is, in essence, render multiples of these cards. So for example, they need to be like that, because you want to have different cards, right? So the easiest way and the most common way people do this in React is they basically have a map functionality. So if we do here, we have SpaceX data.map launch, and then people basically what we do is we do this, and then we add launch card here, paste, and then what is going on here? So we are missing something. So we have rounded bracket, we need another rounded bracket here, and we're all Gucci. Look at that. Okay, yes, we're going to have these red things because, well, if we change this to data, and then that's fine. And now all we need to do is create a thing called launch card. So let's go into atoms, because launch card is going to be like the smallest component there, because launch card is not going to be made up of other components. So let's create a new file here called launch card.js. Great. So what we want to do, basically copy this again. I just like to copy that because, you know, it gives you a nice template to start off with. And if you hit Control D, it will select all these variables with the same name. And I do want to edit that, so let's change it to launch card. And here we can change this to just data, and then we can delete this gubbins here. So if we now we make a div called div here, and then in here we have data.mission name, data details, and then we can have here, what else can we have? We can have what other, so we have, as you can see here, so we have name, so it's not mission name, it is name, so we want to just put name. So data.name, basically what it does is, because data is an object and name is basically a property, we can just take this data variable and say, what is the name, what is the details, and so on. So let's see, is there a details one? Because I do not think there is a details one. There is no details one. But what we can do, we can do flight underscore number What other information? This is going to look really ugly anyway at the beginning, but we can always neaten it up. We can have, so date underscore local is another one we can have. Date underscore local. What else do we have here? We can have yeah, I mean, we can keep it like that for now and see how it does. So if we hit save with this, these things are yellow because we've just not used them, but they're not like major errors. But when you are building your React app, make sure you don't have any unused variables, because that is, yeah, not a great thing. Okay, so let's import launch card here. So now we have this imported. What are these errors over here? Okay, maybe I have to do this. There we go, yeah. So because the one dot means you're looking for the folder atoms within molecules, it's going to be like, no, I can't find it. So you put 2 dots because that means you're going from this level into the level of components and then looking for atoms and then launch card. So that's just something to bear in mind. So now let's have a look at the our React app. Let's see what it's like here. Okie dokie, so it doesn't look like anything's rendering, but what's happened here? Cannot read properties of undefined reading name. Okay, so name apparently does not exist. Why does it not exist? Let's have a look. So we have name. Why does name not exist? Does name exist here? Yes. Okay, but does it exist for all of them? Name. Looks like it does. Interesting. Okay, let's have a look at some of this data. So if we go into, this is basically troubleshooting. So as I said, you know, this tutorial is not going to show you everything working perfectly first time, because, you know, as we know, coding isn't always that. Let's console log data. Let's see what we actually get back. And then if we go back into our browser in here, so refresh this. Okay. So we're basically getting a bunch of undefined. Interesting. Okay. So it doesn't look like we're actually getting any of this data through. So SpaceX data here. Okay, so let's see. So if we do here, console log SpaceX data, right? And did I delete the other console log? No, let's delete this too. Okay, so now let's have a look at what comes through here. Okay, so we do get some data. Let's just refresh. Let's delete this first and refresh the page. Okay, so what is here? Cannot read properties name. Yeah, that makes sense. So we do get this data here. But I have a feeling, because the way that set state works is that it is asynchronous. So the first time it tries to render list of SpaceX launches, SpaceX data is in fact empty. And because your SpaceX data is set after it's tried to render your list of SpaceX launches, it sort of goes a bit funny, because it's like there's no data, so I can't find name and so on. So let's try and find a workaround to that. So what we have here is our SpaceX data, and then we have our use effect. So what we want to do is maybe have some error handling here. So what we can do here, so if SpaceX data, and so what this means is it'll render SpaceX data if it exists, Oh, it'll render the launch cards if there is SpaceX data. So let's see if this fixes it. Okay, what is it? No, it didn't fix it at all. So what can we do? So if we do .length is greater than 0, then it should be fine. Okay, no, it's still not fine. Why is it not fine? See, this is real programming you're watching, guys. As you can see, it doesn't always go swimmingly well. Let's see. So, cannot read properties and reading name. Okay, let's just comment out this then. But I have a feeling the error is now going to be like can't read flight number. So let's have a look. So yeah, see here it says cannot reading properties of undefined reading flight number. So yeah, again, there's the same problem. So let's just uncomment that again, and then we can see here. So SpaceX data. So this is undefined. SpaceX data. So if we do something here where we can say, can probably add a conditional or something here, saying actually, you know what? Probably do it here. So SpaceX data and this. So what this should do is if this exists, then it will try and get the list and show it. If not, then it will just ignore it. See if this works. Uncaught. Okay, what is going on here? Okay, inner list should have unique key prop. Okay, let's add this again then. So key is equal to data.flight underscore number, because I think it wants some unique key identifier. So that's one of the problems we're solving here. Okay, again, yeah, so the problem persists here where we basically don't have any SpaceX data coming through yet because of this whole set SpaceX data stuff. So let's see, what can we do? If we basically do okay, don't know if this will fix it, but we can try. What does this do? Callbacks? No. Okay, we can't do that. So let's see. So SpaceX data dot length is greater than 0. Do that. Okay, let's see if this fixed it. Okay, it's not worked. Let's see. So does it render here? Doesn't render it. Okay, if I do JSON dot string and let me just comment this line out just to check. So we do get the SpaceX data, but I feel as though it is rendering this after it has been set. So let's see a way we can go around doing this. So one of the ways I'm tempted to doing is just not have this as a set use state, just have it as like a normal variable, and that probably will just make it work. So let's try and do this. So if we have let SpaceX data equal, have it empty for now, then we can have SpaceX data equals data, and we can just get rid of this because we don't need, oh no, we do need that, never mind. And then we can have, do we need to have this? We'll get rid of this again and just say this is like upcoming SpaceX launches. And then I think this should work fine. So this means if the SpaceX data is where I think it'll always be greater than 0, so we can ignore that. Okay, and just put this pointy bracket back on. And then this is fine. This is fine. So hopefully now we shall see some changes, but we won't, which is frustrating. So let's see why that is the case. So let's have a console log here, console log data. Okay, so there's no actual data going through because this is empty. So so let's try put some here. Okay, so it is empty. Why is it empty? It is empty because this is async. So we do need it to be set state. So let's revert all our changes again. So now we're going to get the same errors as we did before. Okay, that's fine. We can just change this back to upcoming SpaceX launches. Okay, so basically now we have this, and then what can we do? See, this is the tricky thing with these use state things because they don't work how you would imagine conventional variables to work. So this is always one of those, I still like, yeah, this is probably one of the most tricky things to work around in my opinion when it comes to React. Just figuring out like where to use these asynchronous things. So let's have a little debug at this as to how I can get this data to come through, because we know it works, as in we've seen it when we replace this text here with the json.stringify SpaceX data. But for some reason it's not re-rendering this. Maybe if we do something here where we say can we say? So we can say perhaps data and we can just put this stuff inside here. I believe that will work. No. How do we do this? Can I put and here. No. What is the way that we do things? So if we have this is a bit annoying. I think it is. Is that how they do it? No, surely I don't think it is. Don't think that's right either. Might have to put something here beforehand. So if the yeah, so probably have to put it in here. Data. Why does this not work? Return. Let's have a Google of this one actually, because I cannot remember the syntax, which is a bit annoying. So let's have a look. So JSON, not JSON, render React component conditionally. So how do they do it here? Okay, I guess that was just you. Here you go. So, and this. Okay, so this is what they have. So let's do that. So SpaceX data and this. Oh, that's not how you spell it. There you go. SpaceX data dot length is greater than 0. So hopefully let's console log how long this is actually. Console.log this. Oh, actually I want to just see the length. So let's see, what does it come up with here? So it's there. Interesting. Okay. So maybe it's not maybe the error is not, okay, interesting. So if I do json.stringify SpaceX data. Oh, okay, so we get the actual data. Okay, this is promising. So, okay, this is cool. And then here, if we do console log json.stringify data, and we just get rid of this console log. And is there another console log? No, there isn't. So if I delete all this stuff and refresh, interesting. So we don't get any data being passed through from here. So, okay, SpaceX data.map. So we know that the SpaceX data has something in it. But maybe how does it come back as? Is it an array? Okay. So it is an array. But why is, okay, let's try console.log space okay, let's see what happens if I do this. I feel as though this is an error. This will cause an error, right? Oh shit, let me not console log this and remove this and refresh. Okay, so it does come back with some information. Okay. But what do we need to do here? So I want to do this. But how can we, okay, let's just use a ternary instead. Might be the easiest way. So if we have data.length is greater than 0, then do this. Data unexpected token. Okay, let's remove this. So if we do data.length is greater than 0. Okay, let's try this. Let's see if it console logs the data. Just delete what the old stuff was. Okay, so what's going on here? So an error has occurred. Cannot read length. So it looks like, what's this? Launch. Oh, guys, I've been making a stupid mistake all this time. So I can't believe it took me a while. So this launch data here does not match to data here. Okay, so let's just put this back to how it was, blah, 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 blah. Oh my God, I feel like an idiot. So if I change this to launch data, and I make this launch data, launch data, launch data. Oh my God, okay. Actually, I'll just change this to data, launch data. Change all of those, change this to launch data. Okay, now, there we go. We have all our launch data, and I can't believe I didn't spot that. Oh my God, that was horrendous. But yeah, that's just the thing with coding. You get some stupid things like that, and then you're like, what is going on? But and then you go deeper and deeper and realize it's not. So there we go. As you have seen from a person who works as a software engineer professionally, this is the kind of like stuff that can happen. So yeah, if you get stuck, don't be afraid to, you know, just persevere a bit, and you'll find out that the error is not as big as you think. But anyway, great. We have basically a list of the SpaceX launches. So let's have a look at what we can do with this information. But by the looks of things, some of these aren't upcoming, they've already happened. So let's have a look if we can filter out the ones that have already happened in the past. So let's basically have a look at how the JSON data comes back. So here I remember seeing, if I close all of these, there is a thing called upcoming : true. So maybe we can use this to filter out the array of all the launches. So let's have a look at that. If we go into, we can delete this line here. Any other console logs? No. So here we want to basically pass in. So you're going to get this SpaceX data. But what we want to do is basically set a new piece of data. So if we say const upcoming launches equals SpaceX filter. So this, in essence, what it does is it will return you an array of SpaceX data where the launch.upcoming is equal to true. So basically it'll return us any of these objects where upcoming is equal to true. So this is probably the easiest way of doing it since that tag already exists. Another way would be basically to check the date to see if it is before, or sorry, if the launch date is after the current date. But since we already have this tag, we might as well just use it, and it'll make our life so much simpler. So if instead of having SpaceX data here, we just have to replace it with upcoming launches. And I've spelled launches wrong. Let me put an E here and an E here. There we go. So now if I go back onto my React app here, there we go. We just have the upcoming launches. So this one is to be launched. When is it? Today, actually. So there we go. This will be, I think, is it today? Yes, today, I think. So, yeah, there we go. Okay, but this looks a bit messy. So let's try and improve the aesthetic of this this website. So let's go into launch card here. So how can we organize this a bit better? So I'm going to import something. Import styles from somewhere. Actually, no, I need to npm it. Let me figure out what the npm is. Npm styled components. So this is what I want to use, and it's super easy. It makes it like super easy to basically style a React component. So how do we install it? We have to, what is it? Where is the, is it not an npm? Ah, here it is. Npm styled components, that's it. So if I open new terminal here, that is cool, go into cd client, and then do npm I styled components. So yeah, this will be a super easy way to basically style your React components using CSS without having like other CSS files to make your whole like direct like repository messy. So what we can do here is, in essence, make something like, so I'll need to import it. Styled, I think it's that. Is that what I have to use? Import styled, so this is it. So import style from style components, then I can do const launch card container is styled div, and then I can do like things like display flex, display column, align item center, justify content center, yeah, and all this other jazz. Cool. Okay, we'll leave it like that. So the way I get all these things to autocomplete is I have GitHub Copilot, so it just makes it, yeah, super easy to do all that jazz. So now I can just copy this and replace it with these two div tags here, and hopefully I should have some nice styled, there we go. There's some cool cards here. If I, oh, but why is this one not styled? No, this is a predicament if I refresh. Okay, no, I think that was just left from before or something. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so now we have our SpaceX mission and styled cards, but let's make it look a bit better because it looks a bit naff at the moment. So let's have a look at some cool cards and stuff we can use. So let's have a look at what's a cool card design for web app. Let's have a look, images. Or what do they have on Trainline? Because I think Trainline has a nice sort of view. So where do they have it? I think it's here. No, kind of. Let's have a look. Trainline app. Okay, so can you see on here? Maybe on here. Okay, so yeah, this would be a cool thing to have, right? So you have like your time of launch and maybe like destination or something like that, because that would look kind of cool. So let's figure out how to make something like that. Okay. So I'm going to just pull this over onto my other screen over here so I can just look at it whilst I'm coding. Okay, so we have our React component here. I'll snap this on one side here and snap my code here. So this is fine, I'll close this too. So yeah, now you'll be able to see like the code here and the changes that I'm making here. So let's try and make these look a bit nicer. So let's get rid of some of this gubbins here. So what we want first is probably just to align items left and refresh this. No, I want text dash align, not align items. Align items is for Flexbox. There we go, so align items left. And now what I want to do is add some padding, 10 pixels, border. Do I want a border? Probably, yeah. Okay, so now we're basically having this sort of thing going on, which is pretty cool already. I probably want a margin of top and bottom of a few pixels, but then can have 0. So there we go, we have a bit of separation between each of those. And what can we do now? So how can we best organize the insides actually? So we want, what is this? This is the launch time? Is this the launch window? Yeah, so it looks like these are the launch windows or something like that. So it's between this time and 4 minutes from then or something like that. But let's try and split up the local date. So we might need to write like a function or something to do that. So we can say, where is the, okay, we can do it here. So it's say launch date equals launch date local. Okay, so year, month, day, and then time, which is this, and then Is that right? Maybe. Yeah. Oh, is launch date not defined? Okay, so I need to do const. I'll make it const because we don't have to edit this at all. So, oh, what is going on here? Undefined. Reading split. Because this is this. Okay, cool. So now what I can put here, instead of launch date dot date local, I can just put launch date dot time, and then it will show me the time. So this is not the time actually. So let's see. So split. Let's have a console log. So launch date dot split here. Let's see what this splits into. Okay, so you get an array of 4 things. So this is the year, month, and that is not, this is some weirdness going on here. So what I need to do is I'll need to do day is that dot split on the t, and then it is going to be the 0, and then time is going to be this, but then 1. So that, there we go, makes sense now. So this is the local time. And do we have actually a launch location? Let's have a look. So launchpad. Flight number, details, failures, crew, capsules. So we have this launchpad ID, but there is no name. So don't know how useful that is going to be honest. So we have, what else do we have here? Name, flight number. Should we just use date UTC? Maybe that's... Oh, so this is minus 4 hours. So is that the time difference? I want to say it is the time difference. Is it the time difference though? It looks like it is. Yeah, that looks like it's the time difference. Okay, so we know that some of these launches are happening 4 hours behind or something. So how about we add something here? So we can add, so what is it? And then time difference equals launch data, but I think it's just the third one here. So that is the time difference. Okay, so what we can do is we can have launch time and then how do we know the time difference? Oh, we might not know the time difference because it could be plus or minus. Okay, so let's see. So how can we do this? Okay, so if we do, okay, let's worry about the time difference afterwards. I think this is fine. We can just put like local time, and then that's cool. Yeah, that's great. We can add more stuff later on, obviously. So let's try and make this look a bit more neater now, and then we'll have. So, just having a look at this. So we have like a kind of like a title. Maybe we can put like this sort of banner at the top. So maybe just to separate it out. So we can put Okay, let's put like a little bar at the top. What can we call it? Maybe write it here so we can have const launch card header, yeah, style div, background color, yeah, whatever, we'll change it afterwards anyway. Padding, yeah, that's fine. Okay, let's do that for now. And then launch card header, cool. And then we could put what, the date, don't we? So we want do you want, yeah, so we can just put like, what's it? We can put the launch date dot day, month, year, do that. Okay, and this is quite chunky, so maybe let's not have the padding. And this can be 5 pixels or something, even less, maybe like 1 pixel. From the sides, probably want like 0 pixels and 10 pixels or something like that. Yeah, and then margin, that can be this. Okay, that's cool, that's cool. But that's like a slight bluey color, isn't it? So you can do like a hash. Let's go into, I'm just going to go here, color picker. So what can we choose? Probably choose like a, what color do they have? They have like this sort of color. Actually, well, let's use SpaceX. Let's go on a SpaceX website. Let's have a look at what their sort of color scheme is. Kind of like black. Black might look cool. Okay, let's make it black with white text or something like that. So let's have a look here. Let's make this black. Cool, and then color is white. Very nice, and then we can go text, weight, bold. Does that do anything? Oh no, it's font weight, bold. Nice, maybe put some slashes in between, I think, to make it more date-like. And yes, I am doing it the British date way, where it's day, month, year, because, well, it is superior, even though we are doing a SpaceX thing. I probably want a bit of padding top, bottom, right? Oh my god, that's quite a bit. Can I do half of that? Maybe like 0.2. Okay, 0 padding it is then. Okay, that's fine. Maybe we won't make this bold, then we'll leave it thin. Okay, then what we want to do now is probably get rid of the border here, you know. Oh, not the border. Do we want the border? Nah, we don't want the border. Okay, what we want to do is have margin about, what, 10 pixels. And background color, this is white. And if I go into, say, app, and then do actually list of launches, and then I can do so, yes. So if I do styled container, put that here as well. Oh. And do const styled container is a styled div, and just do background color is not that, so it's like EEE. What is going on here? Style is not defined. Oh, yes. I need to import this into here. Great. Now I have that styled. Let's have a look again at this train line app thing. So, okay, I'm gonna have to maybe add some lines as well now, some border. So let's go back into launch card. We can close this up as well, and then just expand this a bit more. Okay. So what we have here now is we can have our okay. Border is, let's do that. Cool, we have a nice border now. If we want padding top, no, we want some padding though here. Okay, that looks better. Maybe, what do we want this top to be on app? So we can probably put here like const styled app header equals style div. What other colors SpaceX has? I think it's quite a black and white site, obviously, with just colors. Might go with like a black or something. Nah, but then there's black over there. Maybe a black will be fine actually. And then, or maybe just like a grey, like a moon sort of grey or something. I do background color. Need to import styled into here as well. Import. And then styled app header. Can just basically put it here. There we go. Can add some padding as well, so you can do padding 10 pixels around. Nice. And then if I do padding 0, and then I just do padding, I do not want top, that is not what I want, bottom. Okay, that's launch card header, it's not what I want. I want this one margin bottom, and this can be 0. Cool. And this padding can be probably 5. Like that. So now we kind of have a sort of layout. Not the best looking, but it'll do for now. And then let's see how else can we improve upon this design. Probably don't want to have these going right to the edges as well. So let's do launch card body. Launch card body, and then we'll just here const launch card body style div. And then what we can do, we can just say padding 10 pixels. It's fine for now. Just chuck this in here. There we go. So now we have some padding here. Might have to change this down to a H2. Just there we go. That looks a bit neater. Probably could put the flight number as well in here. So you can do like flight. What can we do? Probably like have to P flight number, and then where's our header gone again? So we can probably do display flex, justify content space between. Yeah, there we go. So now we have like our flight numbers here. So this is the most recent launch, well, the soonest upcoming launch, and then obviously they have the later ones further down. So they are in, are they in chronological order? 8, 9, 9, 6. Interesting. So they aren't in date order. I see. That is interesting. Okay. Well, probably we will have to figure out why that is, or maybe not. Maybe that's just how it is. I know they're in order of flight number, so we'll probably keep it like that, I suppose. Or maybe no. We probably should have them in date order. So let's see if there's a way to fix that up. Okay, there probably is a way here. So if we do const ordered launches equal sort okay, let's do that. So what happened here? 8. Okay, so 6, 8, 8. Oh wait, what? O3B M power 34. Okay, so what number is that? Is that number 187? 187. Okay, copy this again. So this is flight number 198, flight number 145, so it's probably somewhere here, 165, 174, 186, so it's upcoming is true, so it's not launched yet. Interesting. Maybe I do need to, yeah, probably, you know what, I think I need to, instead of using this flag, it didn't look quite right, so I might use, if it's still, you know, the, if the launch date has not passed. So let's see, so if I do launch and then I do launch. Wait, what? How did they do it here? So it was new date. Okay, so if new date launch dot date underscore local is greater than new date, then this way around? Okay, I think. So no, the other way around. There we go. Okay, so this makes more sense. Okay, cool. So now we basically have all the launches that are yet to happen. So we have them here. And okay, now what do we have to do? I mean, it looks still kind of ugly, but let's see if we can neaten it up potentially. So let's look at our launch card. Okay, let's do border radius about 5 pixels or something. See what this happens. It looks a bit crap. It doesn't seem to change anything. Okay, so it's changing some stuff. Okay, and border radius. There we go. So now we have a few card looking like thingies. Probably have them less though. Maybe like 10. Looks a bit better, I think. Maybe the also, what is the border? Where's border bottom? Border bottom. Margin bottom here is also can be 10. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so now we have our cards in essence. There, maybe we can have like a. Let's have a look at this neo. I'm gonna search it here. Neomorphism. Let's have a look at this neomorphism generator. So this is a really cool tool. So if we pick a color, just make it white or something. Or how about we have it like some sort of like, yeah, this sort of gray looks pretty cool. Like that. So if we make this the background color of here. I think here. Yeah, and then this as well. Okay, and then if we go into, not that, close this terminal, go back onto here. So border radius is 50, that's fine. Okay, this is what we want background and box shadow. So if we do this to our card container, so border and box shadow. Let's just get rid of this over here. And then also probably add, do we want to keep that? What shall I do here? Let's comment this line out for a second. Okay, so that's what it looks like without it. Probably space out a bit more. Margin bottom about 20. And then margin left right is about 10 pixels. Yeah. Maybe, should we make it white potentially? Maybe make the color. Does that make it look good? Let's try a different color. I'm just having a look on here, just having a play. Ooh, this could look kind of cool actually. this sort of like darkish color. Let's have a go at this. So make this black here. Make this the same black as well. And then on launch card, we want to copy here, this thing here. Copy that and paste it here. Does that look cool? I don't know. Looks kind of weird. Let's make all the text color. I'll just put it in here. I'll make everything white. Looks kind of better, I think. Okay, and let's have a go on here. So styled container, actually no, this is fine. I can just make. Why is it not liking that? Okay, what's wrong here? What did I change? Oh right, yeah, okay. It's fine. The main reason it didn't like that is because now there's no like surrounding React fragment. So just gonna add one in here. There we go. Okay, and if I go into app, styled header, I can just change this to styled app container. Change this here, change this here. I can put this inside as well. And there we go. So that's basically what I have now. I don't know if that looks okay or not. It's a bit weird. If I just do color white. So now we have a list of the, in essence, the React, not the React, the list of upcoming SpaceX launches. And yeah, well, I mean, it looks okay. I mean, it's very basic, obviously. But I guess for the first version of this, you know, it's not too bad. But there we go. So I think maybe we can improve it. Let's see what the sort of black theme looks like. Let's have a look here. So if we make it kind of like a black color, would that look even better? Maybe like this ominous sort of darky tone. Honestly, I don't know what works, but we'll just have a play around and see. Okay, so this is what we want for our background color now. Want a nice dark here. And then for our launch card as well, let's get the this doofer and paste it in here. Awesome. So that looks kind of cool. Yeah, it's hard to tell really what works well, what doesn't. So I'm going to leave it maybe like this. And I mean, we do have the basic stuff for now. Or how about, I think we can add like the logo of the mission. So let's see where we can add that in, because that would be pretty cool to have. Let me see. So here's, let's expand this again. Let's go find one of the launches here. So we have launches here, links, patch. Okay, so we don't have a patch launch for that, a launch patch for this one. Don't have one for that one either. Don't have one for this one either. Is this one upcoming? Oh, so it looks like the only ones that have the launch patches are the ones that have been finished, which makes sense. So we can't really add any launch patches to this. But there we go. We can have, yeah, we can just do that, I suppose, and keep it like this. I'm thinking of adding something here, saying like maybe like X number of upcoming SpaceX launches or something. So let's see how we can do this. So what we'll need to do is we will probably need to do this filtering stuff actually outside of So here we'll need to take this function of upcoming SpaceX launches and bring it into here. So upcoming launches, we can pass that into here and change this to upcoming launches, change this as well. So save that. So there we go. Yeah, that's all fine. And what we can do here is write const number of upcoming launches equals, so basically want to get the length of this array, and we can say there are maybe we can put it here, there are upcoming launches. Let's add an emoji for fun, because you got to add an emoji. Rocket emoji, grab this, okay, whatever, grab this. There we go. Now we can call this a real JavaScript project. So there are 7 upcoming launches. Hooray! Nice. So this is our final product. So now we have a nice view of all the upcoming SpaceX launches, which is great. Amazing. And that's what we have now. Cool. So hope you enjoyed this video of me literally live making this sort of SpaceX launches, you know, sort of timetable log sort of thing. I do want to expand on it, so probably there'll be another video of me iterating on this app. And yeah, stay tuned, and if you enjoyed it, drop a comment, like, and also subscribe if you want to see more coding tutorials like this one. Hope you enjoyed it, and see you in another video. Goodbye.